high performance runner. He ran 2/10 faster for the last 400 than Leap to Fame, and the third fastest in the race. He was 53.35. So that was incredible. And consider that that was his first look at the Menangle Mile. So it's not as though he's done a lot of racing here. I think that his map is going to be a little bit more negative. He's going to be behind the Janitor, behind Captain's Mistress. So he's a sit and swoop winner, but he'll need to really have the race run to benefit him.
Bulletproof Boy, we've discussed at length. Scott Ewan and James Herbertson. Start 228 coming up. A 52-time winner, and prize money would go north of, well, just short of $1.5 million if they were able to take it out. Would it be a big surprise to you?
It would be, but his run at Newcastle was absolutely exceptional, coming from last against the pattern of the night. His age is a factor I'm looking at. He would have to be the second oldest winner in the race history, and on that basis I'll pass him. But as we've alluded to throughout the evening, Scott Ewan, James Herbertson, the perfect storyline.
Okay, Don Hugo. So the reigning champ, unfortunately drawn, it must be said. Trainer-driver Luke McCarthy looking for his 5th Miracle Mile as a driver. He had 3 with King of Swing, and last year with Don Hugo looking to go back-to-back. So the defending champ from the extreme draw. Mile rates aren't everything, but does boast the fastest mile rate of every horse in the field with a 1:48 and 4. A strong record, 24 from 62, and prize money north of $2.5 million. Can we go back-to-back?
He's the wild card of the field, and the way that Luke drives him will be so key to his chances. If it's chips in at the start, he'll need to commit. If he drives him quiet and follow the Janitor and chase a dream, he'll need to commit to that. Either way, it's a decision I wouldn't want to be taking, and I know that Britt was pretty coy on you know what the go would be if she was in the chair, but the only clue is that he hasn't rolled off the arm a lot this year, so I'll leave him by, but I'm wary of his quality, especially given this isn't an overly fast front row. I can conceive Luke being positive from the draw.
Okay, you could get 5,000 tips right in a calendar year, but if you get the Miracle Mile wrong, everyone will remind you about it. So the pressure's on. Who are we on?
The best bet is Captain's Mistress in this race, and so I'm going to go with her. Captain's Mistress on top to beat Swayze, to beat the Janitor, to beat Leap to Fame. When you all boil it down, the speed chart for the sprint qualifiers and the chariot says the Captain's Mistress is the fastest horse out, the fastest horse home, so she should be on top.
Britt, you're a gun tipster, gun media personality as well, but at heart, you're a harness racing nerd. This is really your Christmas coming up here.
I'm happy for you to call me a harness racing nerd, Benny, because you are absolutely spot on. I'm going to sidle up and have a chat to Cameron Hart if I can to get his final thoughts on Swayze's chances in this year's Miracle Mile after such a luckless effort last year. Cam, just watching him warm up. Oh, he's styled in tonight.
Yeah, no, he's feeling as good as ever, so yeah, hopefully he can put up a race of a lifetime.
You want to lead, we know that. You always want to lead on this horse. What are the chances of you doing enough to hold up from this draw in your mind?
Yeah, I think it's a good chance. I believe Don Hugo's probably the one with the gate speed, but he has come up with a bad barrier. Just got to hope that he might have a little bit of sort of traffic in between that might help us out a little bit, but yeah, hopefully we can do enough to hold.
Your boy looks ready. Good luck.
Thank you.
Cameron Hart there. The last word belongs to Grant Dixon with Leap to Fame, as he's looking to win another Miracle Mile. Grant, I know he doesn't have to improve much off last week, but he was so good. Is there the extra length that you need to win a Miracle Mile?
Oh, look, I think the fact that he had the week down here will probably help him a little. But in saying that, I think he'll have to be a little bit better again, I think.
Good luck, Grant.
Thank you.
Grant Dixon, their trainer and driver. I think it's important to note as well, for a long time, the worry with Leap to Fame here at Menangle was a retention barn. It wasn't necessarily his friend. That has not been used for this year's Miracle Mile, so he hasn't had to go through that. He's been in his happy place at the Morris Stables at Lucky Lodge, just across the road. We're on starting time. I'm going to clear the track. I'm going to ask Will Rickson the final question as he walks past. Will, forward or back in this year's Miracle Mile?
Yeah, I think we're going to have a look early. Brady's got good early speed.
Okay, I know he's in a big price chase, a dream, but I think that's a really important piece of information that he's heading forward at the start aboard Chase a Dream, and that just might make it a fraction harder for Leap to Fame to find the running line as quickly as Grant Dixon would desire. On top for me is Swayze. I think he can hold the lead, and therefore he's a horse they all have to run down this champion stayer, looking to take out our biggest sprinting race. That'll be the key for mine. Leap to Fame still has hasn't managed to sit outside him and beat him. I expect him to try one more time to achieve that, and he, of course, is the horse they all have to beat. If Chaser Dream's on Leap to Fame's back, I noticed the sliding blinds come off tonight. He went close last week. Maybe he can go a little closer again. And for first fours, I'm including Kingman. We know he's so much better than what we saw this night last week. Let's join Fred Hastings for the Garrard's Miracle Mile.
Just about set for Australasia's Speed Spectacular. There's the light. They're racing and getting away well towards the inside as Swayze showing speed as Chaser Dream. Up there handy to them in the early stages now was Don Hugo making a line of three and out three wide, and following him as Leap to Fame. Kingman pushes up on the inside, and then came Captain's Mistress. Well back in the field is the Janitor, and after striking trouble, tailing out is Old Bulletproof Boy. They're at the 1200 first quarter, 26-4, and Swayze held in second posse on his back as Kingman. They were followed by Don Hugo, and working double overtime is the champ Leap to Fame. He's working around the outside. He hasn't found the chair yet. Up on the inside next is Captain's Mistress. They were followed by Chaser Dream, the Janitor, and about 10 metres away trying to tack on is Bulletproof Boy. 850 metres left to go, and it's Swayze. He's freewheeling in the van. He shows the way by 4 metres to Kingman. Leap to Fame, he's found the breeze as they head down the back straight, 28-1 and a 54-5 half. They were followed by Don Hugo with cover. Captain's Mistress in a tricky spot, snookered on the inside, and then came Chaser Dream, Bulletproof Boy, and the Janitor's last at the cages, where it's Swayze the leader. Shows out by about 3 metres. Leap to Fame not done with is coming up on the outside. Kingman's under lock and key. Don Hugo's poised to pounce. Here's the Janitor sweeping around the outside. Nowhere to go for Captain's Mistress, and it's standing room only on the bend. 27-5 as they straighten. Swayze the leader, trying hard as on the outside. Leap to Fame, coming home Chaser Dream, the Janitor off the track, and up on the inside Kingman. Don Hugo's there in the middle. It's Leap to Fame hitting the lead. Inch by inch the Janitor's wearing him down. Leap to Fame, he's lifting. It's Leap to Fame. Oh my goodness me, what a horse. Leap to Fame, 3 wide for the first 600, parked outside them and has gone home to beat the Janitor. Up there was Don Hugo, Swayze. Further back Captain's Mistress. The next one to clock in is Bulletproof Boy, Chaser Dream, Kingman, and cometh the hour, cometh the champ. He's done it in 1:49 and a fraction to be confirmed. Oh, I'm just lost for words. He was out 3 wide working hard as he ever has, and he has been able to pick himself off the canvas when they were coming at him on the inside and on the outside, and he has lifted to score and beat the Janitor, number 10 Don Hugo. And for first 4 players, we wait for that number. The times are 1:49 flat. It goes to Swayze. 5, 6, 10 and 2. Now, sometimes you just run out of superlatives. I said it last week, and I've got no doubt Azali was to boxing. This horse, Leap to Fame, is harness racing's equivalent. He is the greatest. Ahead by 2 3/4. He does what no other horse can do, and he's done it again, and done it emphatically, Ben. The margin mightn't be big, but by gee, the heart certainly is.
You know what, Fred, if you're willing to declare it, I'm happy to honour that. There's no doubt one of the best and perhaps the best we've ever seen. And that performance summed it up. Leap to Fame was there to be beaten. The Janitor had probably the superior turn of foot, but as soon as Leap to Fame saw the Janitor, the race was on and the race was over. Leap to Fame can just lift to a level that the others cannot match. Don Hugo runs into third. A fantastic performance from the defending champ, who just had to take a bow to Leap to Fame. So a win in 2024, second in 2025, win again in 2026. Leap to Fame is just a superstar, Brit.
There's absolutely no doubting that, Ben Way, and we've witnessed great greatness once more. Grant, I've been lucky enough to be in this position alongside you many a time, but it never gets old, and gosh, he must just be getting better. That was absolutely ridiculous to do as much work as he's done tonight. He's gone to the hurt locker once more.
Yeah, he's amazing. I thought, getting in the straight was still in a place where they're going to get past him, but I don't know, he just goes in overdrive, just keeps powering up. It's amazing what he can do.
This time 2 years ago, you said, I've been told I need to be in the running line by the first corner. You were not in the running line by the first corner. In fact, you were 3 wide in an incredible first half. What were you thinking?
Oh, look, when you're driving him, you're just sort of mainly worrying how he's feeling. If he's feeling okay, you're still going okay. So, I wasn't sort of too worried at that point.
At the top of the straight, the cavalry was coming, and maybe horses with a sharper turn of foot managed to get to you, but he wanted it bad.
Yeah, he did. He felt terrific when he warmed up, and I just think with the extra week, no travel, he just done a little bit better tonight.
He's come back year on year, never had it easy, and continued to turn up. His constitution must be amazing, and being alongside him, yourself and Trista day in, day out, you must pinch yourself at times.
Oh, it's just been a dream come true. It's just been amazing to be a part of this horse.
And the great news is we're not done yet. As Trista arrives, of course, a huge part of this story. We're going to see him maybe travel once more. The Miracle Mile wasn't even necessarily on his radar. So what he's done for you and your family, you must just be so proud.
Oh, I sure am. I could just, I've said it quite a few times. I thought I was never going to get the opportunity to win these races, and Larry's got another one more, and all of them, I never dreamt we ever could, and just amazing. He just keeps doing it for us.
And the crowd, they love him. You've taken harness racing to a whole new audience, and you and Leap to Fame have become absolute champions of our sport. Congratulations.
Thanks, Brittany. Cheers.
Grant Dixon coming back to an adoring crowd here at Club Menangle. Ben, Leap to Fame, he's the people's horse.
He certainly is, and as we've mentioned time and time again tonight, BK, a horse that really has been able to break that glass ceiling. The general public know about Leap to Fame, and they'll see throughout news bulletins, I hope, this performance, because it was deserving of this performance tonight.
Oh, absolutely. He got the run that I expected him to get, which was very, very tough, 3 wide. The last horse that we've seen 3 wide in a Miracle Mile at that stage was Lazarus, and he finished about 25 to 30 metres off the leader. So it goes to show what quality that Leap to Fame showed tonight. It has to be said that, he turned up to race. He turned up to race in the breeze. It was a perfect run from Leap to Fame. It was the race that everyone hoped we'd get, where Swayze led and Leap to Fame. How hard would he have to work to show us all of those champion qualities? And tonight he's done exactly that. I mean, what an amazing horse, and one that I don't think anyone at Club Menangle will forget, whether they are a grizzled harness racing fan or whether they're here practically for the first time, but they will remember that horse's name for a long, long time to come.
They certainly will. The janitor loomed to win the race, and for Queenslanders, they rejoice. Leap to Fame beating the janitor. A big moment for Pete McMullen and for Chantal as well. They've done a brilliant job with this horse. Don Hugo, a great defence, albeit no match for the winner, Swayze 4th, but I do want to discuss Captain's Mistress, who, to my eye, was travelling as well as anything in the race, and I think as they turned for home, there was one horse that could beat Leap to Fame, and it never saw daylight. Yeah,
big shame that Captain's Mistress never saw any clear air, and maybe was just driven a shade conservatively in that race. You had to be in the running line to win that race, and unfortunately, Captain's Mistress just never saw fresh air. Got onto the back of Leap to Fame, and that was about as close to the lead as she ever got. But I'm not going to say she was a good thing licked, because we've seen the best horse in the Southern Hemisphere for a long time now go out and win that mile, make it 2, and that will be a sort of another exclamation mark on his greatness.
Do you agree with the sentiments from Fred? So we're talking about a horse that's going to chase a 3rd Inter-Dominion title, we hope, in the middle of this year. We're now talking about 2 Miracle Miles as well. Grant spoke of the fact that he never thought that he would be adding these calibre races to his resume, and he's now doing so and doing it quite regularly. Is this the greatest horse that we've seen?
No, he'd have to be very, very close now, and I think that anyone who's saying he's not is only gripping onto yesteryear with fond nostalgia. I mean, we're seeing a horse here who's doing things that maybe we'll never see done again. I mean, 2 Miracle Miles is very, very hard to do. He goes up against, or he goes into the calibre of horses that are right at the top of our sport, and maybe he was unlucky not to win a third, so he would have joined King of Swing on that mark that's never been replicated. We're talking about a horse that's won 2 Interdoms, and that's very, very challenging to do, and he might win another this coming year on a home defence. So, yeah, he's probably the best we've ever seen.
It's funny you mentioned King of Swing because, yes, King of Swing won 3 and yet probably doesn't get held in the same esteem as a few of the others. So I'm always quite respectful of horses I didn't get the chance to enjoy, the likes of Hondo Grattan and Village Kid and those sorts of horses. But even those who were around are now telling us to stand up and applaud and appreciate what you're seeing. And I feel so happy for this team as well. They've invested their life into the sport, both owners and trainer-driver, and they deserve everything that's coming their way. It's brilliant pictures too. Look at the next generation. Won't be too long. We'll get to see them going around, I'm sure, competing in the sport. But Leap to Fame beats the Janitor, Don Hugo and Swayze. Oh, it was a shame, wasn't it, with Bulletproof Boy at the start?
Yeah, big shame. I'm not sure that he would have made a massive contribution to that race, but he was off stride at the start. Britt, Kevin Seymour, he's been a lifelong servant of harness racing, and another justified reward this evening.
He sure has, and he shared his champion with us, which has been quite incredible. Just quickly, Kevin, before you head up to the lectern, we're running out of ways to describe this horse of yours.
Yeah, I mean, every time he goes out the track, he continues to surprise us. I mean, he's a horse of untold ability, but, you know, everyone who comes to the racetrack and people here tonight, like Kay and myself, we're just dumbfounded about how he can produce the results in a tough time like he had on the track tonight. Up 3 wide, sitting in the death, and then winning our greatest sprint, the Miracle Mile, the way he did. I'm just gobsmacked.
Some people, many people in fact, including myself, are calling him the greatest of all time. You've been a lifelong harness racing devotee. You started your working career in harness racing, and that's your horse we're talking about. He's going to go down in folklore.
I hope he does. I mean, I hope he gets all the plaudits that he deserves. But can you imagine, with Kay and myself at our latter years in life, what excitement and what, the greatest thrill that you could ever imagine in any sport in the world, having a horse as good as him.
It's incredible. We're all living in hope that one day we get one just as good as him. I have a funny feeling we might be waiting a while. Congratulations. Enjoy this one.
Thanks, Brent. Really appreciate it.
Thanks very much to Kevin. And Britt, just while we can, I'd love to get your thoughts on the race as a whole. We've heard from the participants, we've heard from Fred discussing Leap to Fame being the greatest pacer that he's seen. The resume is starting to reflect that. Queensland with a 1-2 as a proud Queenslander and a harness racing nerd, as I mentioned pre-race. Just tell me how you will reflect upon Leap to Fame once the career comes to a close.
Absolutely, Benny. Just watching a few generations of Seymours enjoy this feat, and I think Kevin and Kay will point out, if you ask them, a couple of their grandsons are here tonight, haven't necessarily been the natural harness racing fans that they are, but this horse has drawn them into being a part of this sport. So it's so much more than just Leap to Fame, but it's what it's done for the Seymour family. Monetarily, probably doesn't make a whole lot of difference to Kevin and Kay's life, but the thrill that he has provided them with has been something quite phenomenal. I just can't believe he's managed to do what he has tonight. Yes, the time of 1:49 isn't the fastest that he will ever go, but for the manner that he was able to go about his work, sitting wide with a frenetic tempo set up front, for him to be challenged, lift off the canvas and then go again and be drawing off on the line. I'm happy to say it now. I think he's the best that we've seen, and when you consider some of the amazing horses horses we've had in this sport of harness racing. That's high praise indeed. But I think seeing is believing.
For the general sports lovers out there, and the connection was made to Muhammad Ali from a boxing side of things, DK, as we come back to you, the association with naturally thoroughbred enthusiasts will say your Winks, your Black Caviar. When I think of harness racing, I probably do think of those old school horses that were talked up by others, but in my time more like your Lazarus and those. Well, Leap to Fame's well past that. So in sporting law, I don't want to overstate it. Where do you now consider Leap to Fame?
Oh, if you were thinking about sportsmen that he's up against, the Muhammad Ali comparison is absolutely fair. Just a brute who was always up for a stoush and shows heart every single time he gets into the ring with some of these major players. I mean, we're talking about